7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Upgrade to a new quality bath remodel in less time with minimal inconvenience and for less money with Bath Creations in as little as 2 days. We do it right. There are a lot of others boasting about bath remodels these days. Well, Bath Creations' expert craftsmanship and customer service speaks for itself. Plus, all first responders, veterans, and active military will save an additional $500 off your purchase. Visit our beautiful showroom at 8741 North Kimmel Road in Clayton or at mybathcreations.com and upgrade your new bath today.
For all of your tree needs, you've got to call Tackett Tree Service. Headquartered in Dayton and family owned since 1949, Tackett Tree Service delivers professional quality tree services to residential and commercial customers, including tree removal, pruning, trimming, stump grinding services. Plus, they have firewood and mulch for sale and even specialize in tree health care too. Call Tackett 7 days a week, 7 to 7, and emergency service 24/7. Call 937-630-2743 or see Tackett'sTreeService.com.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
Exactly, Stephen A. He's been here for 10 years, and we're still trying to figure him out. The Justin Kenner Show, weekdays at 3 p.m., right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Are you ready?
All right, everybody, we are off and rolling here on a Wednesday. The Justin Kenner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 AM, 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can call, or you can text to jump in on the conversation. You know, yesterday we spent a lot of time on the Reds. The Reds now 19-10. All right, I pounded this point into the ground yesterday that last year the Reds did not win their 20th game of the season until May 10th. The year before that, they didn't win their 20th game of the season until May 20th. And 3 years ago, the Reds didn't win their 20th game of the season until June. Well, as we sit here with 2 games remaining in the month of April, the Reds have 19 wins, and chances are pretty high that they'll at least get 1 win in the final 2 games of this month. They'll be taking 20 games into the month of May. How about last night's win over the Rockies in game 1? I mean, Elly De La Cruz just continuing to shine. I think we expected a bounce back year from Elly. I just didn't know what a bounce back year would look like for Elly De La Cruz, but this is like Elly De La MVP type of stuff. And I know we're only 1 month in, but if Elly was bad in the first of the season, we're talking about how bad he is. So I think it's fair to talk about how good he has been, and we'll get to that coming up around the corner. You know, how much longer into the season do the Reds have to play like this before you start to buy in? I'm tired of the negativity. I'm willing to emotionally dive in with this team, and we'll get to that coming up here shortly. Mary Kay Cabot released earlier today that Deshaun Watson is the front runner to be the starter in Cleveland in 2026. Surprise, no surprise. We'll get into all of that. I know Todd Monken, he released a statement saying that he wants to officially name a starting quarterback, not by week 1, not by week 1, but by the end of mandatory minicamp, which is in June. He wants to know, or he wants to be able to name a starter heading into camp as opposed to letting the dust settle. Is that smart or not? We'll get into that coming up around the corner. More March Madness. I have heard so many people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. At times I have person as well. The NCAA tournament, 68 teams. It went from 64 to 68. You added the first 4. We have the play-in games, and we're fortunate to tip off the NCAA tournament here in Dayton every single year. And I'm of the opinion, and I've been of the opinion, that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would the NCAA entertain the idea of expanding the tournament? Well, we all ask a silly question. We continue to ask a question that we already know the answers to. Money, money, and more money. And I've always been against it. If they've thrown out the idea of, oh, they're discussing it or there's a possibility, I roll my eyes and say, okay, whatever. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now that it seems like we are well on our way to a big-time expansion, not just expanding it by a couple of teams, but going from 68 teams to potentially 76 teams, now I'm kind of leaning into it a little bit. The NCAA has initiated the final steps to expand the men's and women's basketball tournament to 76 teams. according to sources of ESPN's. The expansion, which has been discussed for well over a year now, is on track to be formalized in the upcoming weeks and would begin this upcoming season. Sources indicated mid-May as a potential timeline for an announcement. Now, again, there's still final steps that have to be taken in terms of approval via various NCAA committees. But again, a lot of this is just formalities. I mean, this has been thrown out there for a while. A lot of times entities like the NCAA, like Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, sometimes when you hear sources, when you start to see a lot of sources pop out and say, hey, the committee is discussing this or this league is discussing that, a lot of times leagues will purposely leak this information out there to kind of check the temperature of fan and media reaction. You know, a lot of times, sometimes these leagues and entities know that there's going to be a lot of pushback, that there's going to be a lot of unhappiness regarding that, but they just want to be sure. So they kind of that gives their PR team enough time to be able to build up and have any kind of counter takes as far as that goes. Here's the thing I have. The most common pushback I have about the expansion of the NCAA tournament is why? It's perfect the way it is. Don't ruin a good thing. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I've heard it all, and I've said a couple of those things. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I started to think, okay, and I've seen a lot of overreaction today regarding regarding the expansion to 76 teams. Everyone's losing their mind. This is stupid. The NCAA is ruining a good thing. And the question I have for you is how? What's changing? Who is it impacting? Think back to when we talked, for instance, when the 14 college football playoff existed for college football, I did not want it to expand to more teams. Just like a lot of you don't want the NCAA tournament to expand to more teams. But I feel like those who were against the college football playoff expanding from 4 to 8 to 12 or whatever, I know it went 4 to 12, but at times there was talks of do they go 4 to 6, 4 to 8, 4 to 12. The reason I was against expansion in the 4-team college football playoff era is because I felt that they had found a way to master making the regular season feel massive and the playoff feel massive. I do feel like the college football playoff has watered down the regular season, but I've actually enjoyed the regular season the last 2 years. So I was a little wrong on that. But the bottom line is I at least had a tangible reason why I felt like the expansion of the college football playoff would be bad for college football. The thing is, I keep asking everybody, why are you so angry about the expansion from 68 to 76? It's going to ruin a good thing. How? How's it going to ruin it? What exactly is being ruined? I don't think that it will. Is it going to make the regular season less meaningful? I already don't think the regular season is meaningful. Oh, well, this is being done for the high majors. Yeah. And we're also coming off of an NCAA tournament where there were hardly, if any, Cinderella teams whatsoever. And you, the fans, the same fans that are saying, don't ruin a good thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Not going to watch anymore. College basketball is done as we know it. You are the same fans that also tuned in to the most viewed NCAA tournament in decades when there were 0 Cinderella teams. I want there to be Cinderella teams. I want there to be upsets. I want all of that. But I also want really good college basketball matchups. I want buzzer beaters. It doesn't have to be Cinderella buzzer beaters. I want buzzer beaters. I want close competitive games. I want great storylines. And guess what this NCAA tournament provided? People act like the only good storylines are the mid-major upset tournament runs. That's not the case. I want great coaches going head-to-head. I want great programs going head-to-head. I want great teams in the national championship game. I want Michigan and UConn. I love that matchup. I love what we got in this most recent NCAA tournament. And I hate this idea. I'm not going to let the committee off the hook or the NCAA off the hook. They are specifically doing this for one reason and one reason only, more money. They're not doing it because they're trying to provide you with more entertaining games. They're doing it for one reason and one reason only, more money. Simple as that. But be that as it may, I think all of you who are against this are being dramatic. I was against it, and here's how I'm shifting my take. I'm not for it. I'm just no longer against it. Because I got to thinking, how will my life change by this? From a sports standpoint, when the college football playoff expanded from 4 to 12, my college football viewing experience, I was pissed about because now I don't care about the regular season. So that was a good reason to me to not want expansion. I don't think the expansion of 68 to 76 teams ruins anything. What does it ruin? I'll wait. 937-518-1410. 937-518-1410. The phone lines are open. We're live on the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. If you have Facebook, follow the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page. We're live there. You could show and interact in the chat. I'll pull your comments into the show, and we'll go from there. Or call or text 937-518-1410. I'm waiting. So many of you are being loud. It's ruining college basketball. It's going to ruin everything. How? I have yet to hear a good reason how 76 teams is going to ruin it. More teams, more fan bases. The only thing it's doing is it's going to add an extra play-in bracket. Okay, you could say, well, it might take it away from Dayton. That's a possibility. I hope that's not the case. And if that's the case, then we here in Dayton have a gripe. But overall, I don't think that's where a lot of you are coming from. A lot of you are just regurgitating talking points that you hear on other talk shows. It's going to ruin sport. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why ruin a good thing? I don't think expanding to 76 teams ruins anything. And if you think it does, explain how. 937-518-1410. How does expansion of the NCAA tournament actually make college basketball worse? I don't think it does. I don't think it's going to impact it whatsoever. A lot of you said this past year, college basketball is ruined because there was no Cinderella teams. It was the highest rated NCAA tournament in decades. I don't understand how that could be a bad thing for college basketball. 937-518-1410. More of the Justin Kinner Show when we come back.
Swing by Frickers this week and treat yourself to one of our unbeatable lunch combos. Choose from your favorites, like the Big Frickin' BLT, cheeseburger, frickin' chicken wrap, and more. Each with a side and drink for just $10.99. Plus, use the Frickers app and score double points on lunch for a limited time. Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Whether you dine in or grab it to go, lunch just got a whole lot tastier and more rewarding. At your home for fun, food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
ESPN app and ESPN Plus. Hit us on the socials.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary right here in Ohio. America 250 Ohio is partnering with communities across the state to bring events and experiences to all 88 counties all year long. Explore Ohio's history on dynamic driving trails, enjoy Ohio-related movie screenings, or attend engaging history talks, plus so much more. See the full calendar of events and discover what's happening near you at america250-ohio.org. Sponsored by the Ohio History Connection, aired by the OAB and this station.
Hey folks, it's game day and the betting's gonna be intense, Drew.
You said it, Dave, but a good pregame routine keeps betting responsible.
That's right, you gotta pause before you play.
Good call. Sports betting is hot, but it can be risky.
And pausing to set limits is an all-star move.
That's right, Dave. If you bet on sports, pause before you play to set limits, recognize the risk, and know when to stop.
Learn more at pausebeforeyouplay.org.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 2689 Commons, Dayton.
Spring is the perfect time to beautify your home or business with locally grown plants from A. Brown & Sons Nursery. Check out Brown's Nursery for everyday low prices on thousands of healthy and colorful high-quality shade trees, evergreens, flowering trees, and bushes, perennials, and ornamental grasses. Brown's grows landscape-size hydrangeas, lilacs, butterfly bush, red buds, flowering crabs, magnolias, wisteria, wigula, spirea, forsythia, dogwood, fruit trees, and then there's western red cedar, arborvitae, boxwood, taxus, juniper, pines, and spruce. They have elms and tulip trees, sweet gums and oaks, black gum and hornbeams, willows and honey locusts, 30-plus varieties of maple, and so much more. Come see them at Brown's Nursery this weekend, Friday and Saturday 8 to 5, Sunday noon to 5. Landscape installation and landscape design are available too, just 4 miles off of I-70, exit 24 on Route 49. They're easy to find and so worth the trip. Make your corner of the world a whole lot greener with Brown's Nursery.
The Reds spend money the way Kinner eats salads, rarely and reluctantly. The Justin Kinner Show, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. The Reds spend money the way Kinner eats salads, rarely and reluctantly. The Justin Kinner Show, right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
So the lady that puts our commercials in, I don't know why she needed to have back-to-back Kinner Fat jokes in there. I'll have you know, I did have a salad for lunch today. Thank you very much. But we welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio. The sky is falling. The world is ending as we know it. And no, it's not because gas prices are, well, sitting at, $4.30 today. It's because we're expanding the NCAA tournament from 68 teams to 76. All right, that's kind of what's going on right now. It was announced earlier today, of course. And again, it's still going through the final stages, but we know it's going to happen. This upcoming NCAA tournament is going to feature 76 teams versus the 68 teams that we've been so accustomed to for many years now. Now, the mechanics, according to ESPN, the article I have pulled up in front of me, ESPN's Pete Thamel, the mechanics of the expansion in the men's tournament would include 8 additional at-large bids. Oh, there we go. More at-large teams. Yes. Listen, I work with Wright State, right? I fill in for Jim Brown from time to time, calling the games. I'm on the radio team. Like I've worked with them for years. I'm all about Wright State and schools like Wright State getting more opportunities. But I'm also realistic of a fan to understand that from a resource perspective, from the level of recruiting and everything else, and it's to no one's fault, that it's not the same thing to say that more mid-major teams need more opportunities. I get where we're coming from with that, but at the same time, when those teams don't play as tough of schedules as the bigger teams, and those bigger teams already have a schedule built in that allows them to, boost their net and everything else. We get it, but I don't think we need to look at schedules to know that St. John's is better than anyone on the horizon, right? Like even if you go to the middle of some of these conferences, even those teams better than these teams in the horizon. And not saying that nobody in the horizon could beat those teams. I mean, hell, Wright State should have beat Virginia in the NCAA, but we're talking not a one-and-done tournament where anyone from the horizon can upset anyone on any given night. We're talking about with a Horizon League school, how would they fare from November through February playing an exact same schedule as a Rutgers or anybody else. This isn't this is common sense. We make this more difficult than we need to. Yes, this is about high major schools. Yes, it's about giving more of those schools more opportunities. But I do think that mid-major schools benefit from this. And you're not going to like this, but I'll tell you why here in a moment. So, this would include 8 additional at-large bids for, yes, high major teams, right? For high major teams. This isn't being done to give more mid-major teams an opportunity. All right. That would have benefited Miami last year, but let's be clear. Look what Miami had to do to have benefited from that. They would have, you know what I mean? Like you have to go 31-0 to benefit from the expansion of the at-large opportunities in the NCAA tournament. So again, the mechanics of this expansion in the men's tournament would include 8 additional at-large bids. So this talks about the first 4 in Dayton, 8 teams. All right. What's known now as the first 4, 8 teams playing 4 games in Dayton, Ohio. That would expand to 12 games played by 24 teams at 2 sites, one of which was expected to remain in Dayton. Okay, that's a big deal right there when it says expected to remain in Dayton. Now, I do know that earlier today, Dayton, I need to go pull this up real quick so that I make sure that I'm reading the correct one. But Dayton did release a statement about this because everyone's lost their mind in the city today. It's a little bit of a lengthy statement, okay? Actually, let me save this to where I can pull this up for those who are watching on the stream. So let me pull this up so you guys can have a chance to take a look as well. With all the questions about the future of the NCAA tournament, it's one, the first 4 in Dayton. How's that going to be impacted? Here was the statement that was released by Dayton earlier today. It says, we are aware, okay? It says that we are aware of the potential expanding the basketball tournaments would require approval from the multiple NCAA committees, and no final recommendations or decisions have been made at this time. That's a great statement, Mr. Neil Sullivan, the athletic director for Dayton, but we already know where this is going. It goes on to say that the NCAA tournament has tipped off in Dayton since 2001, and we fully expect that tradition to continue. We are proud to host through 2028. All right, so that would be 2 more first 4s that we are guaranteed here in Dayton, and they are currently and actively engaged in the current bid cycle through 2031. Given the dramatic change in college basketball, we support the potential expansion of the tournament and stand ready to adapt, just as we have for the past 25 years. Now, I can't tell, is this Neil Sullivan talking on behalf of the Dayton Flyers or the first 4? I that's what I don't understand. Given the dramatic change in college basketball, we support the potential expansion. The potential expansion could take the first 4 away from Dayton. So now I think he has his AD hat on, because he knows that, well, Dayton has underachieved throughout his time outside of 2020. And, they need expansion to potentially get this. I have no clue why I turned this into taking shots. My bad. I'm a child. Let me just take this statement off. The bottom line is nothing's been finalized, but we know it's going to be finalized, right? And we know that this is going to be 8 additional at-large opportunities. And, the 8 teams that make the first 4 in Dayton, that's going to now be multiplied to 12 teams played by 24 teams. 12 games played between 2 sites. And it's expected to remain in Dayton. It will be for the next 2 years, at least. It's contracted through 2028. So, like I said, we don't know. It does say that the location of the new site has yet to be determined, but it is expected to be west of the Eastern time zone to help with logistics, which is, look, we've seen in the first 4 at UD Arena. We've seen UCLA play in the first 4. We have seen Arizona State with Hurley on a handful of occasions. Boise has come this way. We've seen a lot of schools that have to travel far amount of distance to play in the first 4 here in Dayton. This would help alleviate a lot of that. All right. I wouldn't expect that any team that plays in the first 4 or whatever. And again, I've read multiple reports today that we would no longer call it the first 4. It would be the opening round. Okay. Is based, that's how some people are kind of expecting it to go. But yeah, like it's just one of those things where I think everyone needs to relax. We can freak out in 2029 if we don't have the first 4 here. But guys, did you see the crowd that was on hand for these 4 games? This past first 4, the energy, I mean, it's in Dayton every year for a reason. Even without the expansion, it's kept in Dayton every year. This city is ridiculous. Like it fills up that arena no matter who's playing in it. People act like, oh, they only show up to support Dayton. That's not true. Fans from all over show up to watch college basketball in that arena no matter who's playing. All right, we've seen, these no-name 16 seed teams fans show up to watch. And there's no disrespect to them. It's just the it's the reality of it. We're watching 2 16 seeds play with the stakes being who's going to go on to play the number 1 seed and get trounced by 30. Like that, and we fill up the arena to watch it. So I'm not that concerned that it could be taken away. I mean, it's always a possibility, yes, but I think that Dayton has treated it too well and that it has been too successful, and it would be a gamble to move it somewhere else. I think it will be interesting to see if when they add these opening round games on the West Coast and, there'll be a little bit of competitiveness there. How do these games fill up UD Arena versus whatever arena it's going to be used over on the West Coast? I think that'll be interesting as well. 937-518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. So Rick in Riverside, he texted to the show saying that, Justin, I think they should expand the NCAA basketball tournament even further. They should combine the NCAA tournament and NIT tournament and go to 96 teams, give top 32 teams buys, and have the rest play games at higher seed home courts on Tuesday and start tournament on Thursday and Friday as normal. I mean, there's a lot of, and Rick in Riverside, thank you for listening and thank you for texting into the show. I mean, there's a lot of layers to that one. I mean, there's a lot in there as far as that's concerned. And I could see, and I think that type of change would rock everyone. It would rock them down to their foundation if they made a change like that, because that would be a lot for us to take in and truly grasp, right? I think going from 68 teams to 76 teams is the perfect amount of teams for expansion. I have yet to hear or read or see anything from anyone how this ruins college basketball. I think everyone's being dramatic. Oh, this is not what college basketball needed. Well, what did it need? But more teams, more opportunities. Who cares? And during the college football playoff, when it was a 4-team playoff, I didn't want it to expand, but I had a reason. I wasn't just crying and complaining like a lot of you are. I was saying I don't want it to expand. Not because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Not because football's ruined as we know it. I didn't want it to expand because I didn't want the regular season to be diluted. The expansion from 68 to 76, it's not diluting anything. Half you people won't even notice it. And half of my listeners, if not the majority of my listeners, are UD fans, and I think the expansion of the tournament benefits you. The 8 additional at-large bids that are going to be given through the expansion of this, I read earlier today, it's all about the net. It's all about the net. It's all about the net. The one thing, okay, Neil Sullivan, the one thing that he has done a good job on, collaborating with Anthony Grant, is building a schedule that puts Dayton in a very good position to get at-large bids every year. If Neil Sullivan could just find a coach that actually win the games that matter the most in the A-10, they would actually, be able to benefit from this scheduling. But I think it's going to allow Anthony Grant to still continue losing the games he always does and still get in the tournament because they're expanding it, more opportunities for those at-large teams using the net. So it's a win for them. It's a win for Dayton. It's a win for you Flyer fans. I just have no clue why you guys are sitting here complaining, because not one of you has been able to give me a concrete reason why it's going to ruin college basketball. Brian Fraley, what up, Brian? Brian says UD likely to be one of 2 sites for the first round games, still to be played on Tuesday, Wednesday. The other site will be west of the Mississippi River. Yeah, I like another site. I like another site, as far as that's concerned. So we'll see what ends up happening. And honestly, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Dayton would get more games. You would get even more games, more opportunity, more college basketball tournament games in Dayton. So I'm all for it. Troy, thank you. So Troy, UD will host 6 games in 2 days. Love it. Love it. What I would like to know is, when do these games tip off? What's the format and setup going to be like? 3 games in 2 days. We know that a lot of times that the late game tips off at 9. So I'm assuming you would have like a 5, a 7:30. No, I don't know how you would tip that. You would have to tip it off much earlier in the afternoon, but it doesn't matter because the first round game's on Thursday, off at noon, and everyone finds a way to make it work. Ron Howard says it sets up for garbage basketball, mismatches, blowout games. I don't think that it does. You're actually going to get way more competitive games because you're going to have 11s versus 11s, 12s versus 12s, and 16s versus 16s. You're going to get more 16s versus 16s. Those are competitive games. 15s versus 15. The 12s versus 12s and the 11s, 11s. You're going to get more competitive games that way. I disagree 100%. Not saying that you'll never see a blowout or whatever, but I mean, I thought the first 4 games this past year were extremely competitive, and they usually are, and the crowds have been great, and Dayton, they show up and support. I just, like I said, I think a lot of you are overreacting when it's all said and done. The expansion of the NCAA tournament from 68 teams to 76 teams, no problem with it. I have no problem with it. I think you're all being dramatic. Not one single person has been able to provide me with a concrete reason why it's bad for college basketball. Fill in the blank. On the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page, we're live there. Click on, you could, watch the show there in the chat. Fill in the blank. The expansion of the NCAA tournament to 76 teams ruins college basketball because blank. Fill it in. Let me know why. Fill in the blank. Text me, 937-518-1410. The expansion of the NCAA tournament from 68 teams to 76 teams ruins college basketball because fill in the blank. 937-518-1410. We'll be right back.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Shh, here she comes! Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop! Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations! Also, there's a beehive outside your store! And they're super aggressive! There's thousands of them!
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired! Gross!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See terms at mintmobile.com.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics, started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Consider a better commute to work. Driving alone could cost you thousands a year in parking and gas.
not to mention the stress of traffic congestion. Whether you want to carpool, van pool, take the bus, or ride your bike, GoHio Commute's online platform can help you explore options to get around the Miami Valley region. Log your eligible trips on GoHio Commute to unlock rewards. Commute smarter. Visit MiamiValleyRideshare.org or call 937-223-SAVE to explore commute options.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. I did think it was interesting. I shared the statement released from Neil Sullivan, the athletic director for the Dayton Flyers, earlier. And it's interesting. On social media, I've seen a lot of Flyer fans annoyed that he was so quick to release a statement about this, but yet continues to, never acknowledges how the program has underperformed consistently for years now. I get it. There's a lot of fans out there that believe that this program cares more about hosting NCAA tournament games than playing in NCAA tournament games. Sullivan is just silent as can be with another season of Dayton not playing in the NCAA tournament. But within a few hours of the, report coming out that we're about to expand, the first one, he's right there, Johnny on the spot with the statement about the tournament. I used to kind of roll my eyes at that when I hear Flyers fans say that, but I don't think they're wrong. Not all of you think that, but a good chunk of Flyers fans, and I think that they're right, that Neil Sullivan cares more about hosting tournament games than playing in tournament games. What drastic changes have they made to put Dayton in position to, as far as trying to make changes to show urgency in making the NCAA tournament? You want to make fans feel like, oh, you value the NCAA tournament, then fire your head coach who consistently keeps you out of it. That's what's fascinating to me, that this program cares more about hosting tournament games than playing in tournament games. And I see that on social media a lot. I'm reading a bunch of posts right now, and I'm like, yeah, that seems to be a popular take on social media right now. Dayton, they care more about the tournament than playing in it. And I think that's a fair take. I think that's not even an opinion. I think actions speak louder than words, and tweets and all that stuff. And that's kind of where we're at. But honestly, if you think about the identity of Dayton right now when it comes to college basketball, for the longest time you had NCAA first four games, also the Dayton Flyers who were making Elite Eight runs, Sweet 16 runs, tournament almost every year, and then they go dormant. And then they came back to life in 2020, and then they spent a couple of years pouting, and then it's just they've never been able to resurrect that. They've wasted the talents of a Kobe Brea, a Tumani Kamara, a Deron Holmes. Now they do at least have a tournament win to show for our guy Deron Holmes. I like Deron. This isn't a shot at the players. I feel bad for the players. I feel bad that Kobe Brea felt like he needed to go to Kentucky to experience some kind of high-level basketball, something he wasn't able to experience at Dayton. Although all the resources and opportunities are there, he just wasn't able to experience it there. And I get it. I don't have a lot of popular takes when it comes to that, but I don't really give a damn because somebody has to say it. There's a lot of media in town that likes to kiss ass to the program because, they hold the, access. I don't get access. I don't need access. I don't care about access. And they hate that I don't need anything from them because they can't take anything away from me. And I'm the one in town that'll actually say it. So is what it is. But I found that very, very funny that they have a statement released within hours, but yet have yet to acknowledge another failed season and have yet to acknowledge that, hey, there's a lot of people mad that you're bringing Anthony Grant back. He has no business being the head coach of the Dayton Flyers. That is, if you value the NCAA tournament, if you value just winning 20 games and putting guys in the league and, sellouts of the arena, if that's all that matters, then my goodness, Anthony Grant should have won another National Coach of the Year because he has checked off every box. There must be an underachievement box on that, on that job description of his because he seems to check that off and get bonuses for it. I have no clue, but is what it is. But man, you take the NCAA tournament away from UD Arena, you take it out of this city. I think the reason they don't want that taken away from the city is because the last thing of college basketball that this city gets to look at and touch is the first four. If the last thing of college basketball that this city got to touch was watching Anthony Grant have another failed season as head coach of the Dayton Flyers, I think it would be louder in town. I think all the criticism would be louder. It would be from me. Shocker. I know. Adam Seltner on Facebook. Thanks for listening, Adam. Adam says, I never want to hear the NCAA say they care about amateurism and athletes being students also. I mean, they're not student athletes. They're just not. They're amateurs. They're professional athletes. They're professional athletes. Like, even at the mid-major level, some of these guys are getting some serious money. Maybe not serious money by SEC and Big Ten schools, but I mean, if you look at the median average income in this country, that's what a lot of these better mid-major players are making. What a point guard in the Horizon League makes is above what the average median income is in this country. And that's considered, oh my gosh, I would never go play for that for 4 months of a calendar year and make the average medium, that's fascinating to me. Like they're the professional athletes. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. It's crazy to me. So like, I get what you're trying to say, but at the same time, like, I'm not mad when the NCAA pursues money anymore. I don't blame them because the players don't value winning anymore. They value money more than anything else. And you could say, well, we're like that with what we do in our lives. No, we still have to sit back and say, there are opportunities that I can go make money elsewhere. Yes, but also that would impact my life based on X, Y, and Z. We have to do that checks and balances as well. These athletes, I don't believe, are doing it. It's, more money over here. Sure. More money over here. Sure. It is what it is. These athletes aren't victims either. I don't feel bad for these athletes. I don't feel bad for everyone's worried about, well, what's going to happen? These poor, this is my favorite one. Everyone's all concerned about, what do we do about these players that they're making, some of them are making millions. Some of them are making 400,000. And then all of a sudden they graduate and then they got to go to the real world and apply for a job making 75,000. A boo-hoo. I'm sorry that you're struggling trying to adapt to life after making 400,000 to 500,000 in college. I don't feel like, you want me to feel bad for that? You want me to feel bad that you have to come crashing down to earth to live amongst the common folk? I mean, come on, stop it. Stop with trying to frame it that these guys are victims. They are not. They're professional athletes. Maybe we need to stop with the making them go and take these, take these pointless, classes in college. These college athletes should have their own sets of classes that they take. Money management, really, all students should. Even non-athletes should be in there for some kind of money management. Some kind of anything, some kind of life skills. So is what it is. But I don't. The NCAA is all about money. Good for them, as they should be. Because these players sure as hell are. Coaches sure as hell are. These programs sure as hell are. Everyone all about money. And like, I get when Adam, I'm not targeting you, but Adam just said, I never want to hear them talk about amateurism and this and the other. I don't think that they do. The NCAA has always been money hungry. It's just back then when the players were only getting a full ride education, which was just crap, apparently, they were the victims. Well, now they're getting a full ride education by taking 1 year, one school per year, hopefully for a full school's year's worth of classes. I mean, my goodness. I mean, it's fascinating to me, all of this. But like, the one thing I hate now is when we constantly try to make these athletes the victims. These athletes aren't victims. They're not. You mean the guys that are making a crap ton of money, being overpaid a crap ton of money? They're part of a bidding war between programs. And then a lot of these guys come in and they tank. They still get their money. And then we're supposed to feel bad for them because they have to come, walk amongst us common folk when they have to apply for regular people jobs when they don't make it to the NBA. Adam's NCAA has made money off their student athletes for years before NIL became a thing. It's always lip service from the NCAA. They just need to stop. What do they need to stop? I don't think they're what's the NCAA doing? Adam, I don't think I've met you before. Maybe I've met you at a remote. I don't know. I disagree with you. Like, we're making the NCAA the big bad NCAA. What are they doing that's wrong? Now, what are they doing that's wrong? They've made money off their athletes for years, even before NIL. Yes, and those players, just because we didn't call it. And you're saying before NIL, well, those players weren't not making money before NIL. They were just making money differently. Now, instead of the bag being slid to them across the table, it was just being handed to them underneath the table. Like this, we don't need to do. Yeah, we all know how this worked before. It's just less dirty, but they found a way, like they found a way to take something that should be less dirty and make it even dirtier. It's fascinating. Chad Kinser, what up, Chad? Chad says, not the only one that'll say it. My father-in-law and I go at it all the time about his precious little UD team. Yeah. And it's not like I'm attacking the little UD team. Like I'm not attacking the players. It's I think the coach is overrated. I think that they need a new coach. This idea that you can't move on from a coach. I watch VCU, rinse, cycle, and repeat. New coach, new coach, new coach. Same amount of wins, same amount of wins, same amount of wins. Same result, same result, same result. Tournament. Like, stop it. I mean, if Dayton has low self-esteem if they think they can't do better than Anthony Grant. I just got to say it like that. Let's just be clear. But is what it is. So, nonetheless, I don't even know how we got off on all this. I mean, it's just the NCAA to me, the NCAA tournament, all of this, I have no problem with it expanding. I don't think it's ruining the tournament. I don't think that I don't think that anybody's life is impacted by this at all. There's going to be 8 more at-large teams. That's 8 more programs. That's 8 more schools of student athletes, wink, wink, that are going to get to experience the NCAA tournament. More teams, more games in the first 4 here in Dayton. I think that's a win. I don't think that's a loss. Could the tournament be taken away because of this? If Dayton loses the NCAA tournament because of this, I don't anticipate that it would. Maybe it becomes a part of a rotation. I don't know. But this idea that it was never going to leave Dayton, I never once believed that it was there forever. The fact that we've had it here as long as we have is a blessing. And I really think that the NCAA has no interest in taking it from here because there's going to be other cities that try to outbid Dayton for it. But I don't think there's going to be other cities that fill it up like Dayton does. And maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid too. Maybe I'm falling for it too, thinking that our city, that no other city could do what we do. But would the NCAA risk that? Would you risk sending it to another market and risk it not doing as well? I mean, and it's helped. There's been a lot of regional support too, not just from the fans, but like if you think about over the years, Dayton has played in the first 4, right? State has played in the first 4, right? You've had Kentucky play in the first 4. You've had Indiana play in the first 4. Michigan has played in the first 4. The Redhawks last year, that was, they were the belle of the ball last year, right? Like so they played in the first 4. I just think that regionally there's been a lot of teams to help support the first 4 as well, which has helped. You get, a lot of those fans from those teams automatically coming. But like how many of the fans that go to the first 4 are natural, just college? I think there's a crap ton of them. So you're going to get your fan bases from your teams that go watch your team in the first 4, and you're naturally going to get those no matter what. But what is left is just the me's of the world. Like Xavier's not my team, right? Like UCLA, you think of all the teams that have played in the first 4 in recent years. But I want to go watch good college basketball, so I'm going to go. There's a lot of me's, there's a lot of yous, right? Like Dayton's not, and so it's just one of those types of things. I'm confident Dayton's going to keep it for quite some time because I don't think that the NCAA is going to risk moving it somewhere else and it not do well. If it ain't from that standpoint, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like we're benefiting from it. We're getting more teams in the first 4. We're going to get to go to another NCAA tournament game next year. Like I don't have a problem with it. I just don't think I don't think it's hurt anything, to be honest. Damon Hahn says, do people outside of Dayton say Anthony Grant is a good coach? I think he is a good coach. I think Anthony Grant's a good coach. I just think that when you are a basketball school where every dollar and every resource is handed to you for your school, for your program, I think you need to be better than good. Dayton's been very good during the Anthony Grant era. I shouldn't say very good. Dayton's been good during the Anthony Grant era. Dayton has never been bad during the Anthony Grant era. But that's the thing. Like, good doesn't make the NCAA tournament. You have to be great to make the NCAA tournament. And that I can say, Anthony Grant is not a great coach. He's a good coach. And he's won everywhere that he has gone. But he has also been fired everywhere he has gone because at some point, like, you realize, oh, this is all we do. We just kind of walk in circles a bit. Very fast, though. They need great. Dayton's not sharing funds with anyone else. It's all about basketball. Everything is about the basketball program. And the fact that he comes up short almost every year. He's made the NCAA tournament once in 9 years, twice if we count the year that there is no NCAA tournament. So is what it is. I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. 937-518-1410. That's the number that you can call or text to get in on the convo. This comes from Eric and Xenia. Eric and Xenia says, the reason it ruins it all is just because we know where it is coming from. It's coming from the soulless NCAA spineless, a-holes, he says, and it's all about money. Yes, it's all about money. Yes, that's all this is. It's all about money, but like, I completely get that it's about money, but at the end of the day, no one's answering my question. This is why I know, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I've never been known not to be that guy. I'm right and you all are wrong. Here's why I know that, because not one of you has been able to give me an actual response, an actual answer. No one's been able to fill in the blank. The expansion of the NCAA tournament from 68 to 76 teams is bad because why? No one has been able to answer it. Not one single person. So it is what it is. Ron Howard brings up an interesting point. Look at the NFL draft, different cities. The NFL draft has hopped around from city to city, and the bids have gotten bigger, and the crowds have gotten bigger. The money has gotten bigger. And I guess here's where, the first four, it's, obviously, you're going to see 8 teams in the first four. We have seen 8 teams in the first four. It's going to jump up to 12 teams in the first four now, or call it the opening round or something like that. But the thing is, the first four wasn't big enough to technically be bid for, right? I mean, maybe it would have been, but I guess the bigger it gets, the more likely that it could be taken away. It could go to bigger cities, bigger arenas. I am curious, and maybe I should know this, but what's the format going to be like? Is it, there's going to be more at-large teams that, benefit from the expansion to 76 teams. Will we see a lot more of those, teams play in the first four, like that in the opening round or what have you? I guess the bigger it gets, the more value it has, and the more value it has, the more the more suitors are going to be to try to pluck it away. But to your credit, basketball fans in this city, I think this city treats it too well. Could it be taken away? Of course. Any of us would be egotistical and moronic to think that it can never be taken from us here. I just think it has been. What would lead to them taking it from Dayton? More money. Well, we hear all the time how it brings millions and millions of dollars to this region every year. Money's coming in. You got to spend money to make money. Spend more money. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It ain't my money, but spend more money. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Try Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Box with its triple double crunch wrap. Just don't let the Lux go to your head. Limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Specialty beverages excluded. Tax extra.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org.
Save big money on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Menards has a huge selection of bagged concrete and mortar mixes. Great for any project. Whether you're pouring a walkway, a concrete slab, or setting a post. View our entire selection of concrete mixes and supplies in store and on Menards.com. Plus, check out the weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Spring is the perfect time to beautify your home or business with locally grown plants from A. Brown & Sons Nursery. Check out Brown's Nursery for everyday low prices on thousands of healthy and colorful high-quality shade trees, evergreens, flowering trees, and bushes, perennials, and ornamental grasses. Brown's grows landscape-sized hydrangeas, lilacs, butterfly bush, red buds, flowering crabs, magnolias, wisteria, wigula, spirea, forsythia, dogwood, fruit trees, and then there's western red cedar, arborvitae, Bay, boxwood, taxus, juniper, pines, and spruce. They have elms and tulip trees, sweet gums and oaks, black gum and hornbeams, willows and honey locusts, 30-plus varieties of maple, and so much more. Come see them at Brown's Nursery this weekend, Friday and Saturday 8 to 5, Sunday noon to 5. Landscape installation and landscape design are available too. Just 4 miles off of I-70, exit 24 on Route 49. They're easy to find, so worth the trip. Make your corner of the world a whole lot greener with Brown's Nursery.
1410 Wing AM, Dayton's ESPN Radio, powered by.
Get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Let the good times roll. Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great time out with friends. Join us this summer for fun adult, youth, mix, or travel leagues. Polking Bowling Centers have a program just for you. All full Summer League bowlers get a VIB pass and a chance to win cash and prizes. Ask about our Summer Pass where you can bowl for $1 a game. Limited days and times. And don't forget to ask about Kids Bowl free. Let the good times roll at Polking Lanes, Dayton, Polking Woodman Lanes, Kettering, and Polking Lanes South in Centerville.
Some people reach a line and stop. Some hit a wall and turn around. Then there are the ones who cross the line, climb the wall, face obstacles, and turn them to their advantage. That's where we come in. We're the next rodeo. We design bold marketing that drives real growth. A creative partner for businesses ready to push forward beyond what's expected. The Next Rodeo. Learn more at thenextrodeo.com.
Cordell Transportation is looking for more weekend warriors. If you have a Class A CDL and would like to make some extra money casually driving weekend daytime routes, then Cordell Transportation is looking for you. Home daily, all loads round trip, no touch freight, and competitive pay. Full-time routes could become available if you're interested. Drive weekends at Cordell Transportation. Apply at CordellTransportation.com or call Ron at 937-277-7271. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
Dayton's radio home for Buckeyes football. 1410 WING. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The forecast, a chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy overnight, low of 43, sunshine 60 tomorrow. On Friday, it's a chance of showers in 58. I'm Rick Schramp for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
All right, everybody, we are back. It's the Justin Kinner Show, Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. A lot's been made today. We spent a lot of time in that opening hour talking about the expansion of the NCAA tournament from 68 teams to 76 teams. For the longest time, I fell in that category of, oh my gosh, no, don't do that. That's horrible. And then I sat back today and I got to thinking, how was that horrible? I don't understand what's horrible about it now that I think about it. Like, it's not changing up really anything. It's changing up the first four. And from some reports I read today, it'll be called the opening round, and we'll get 2 more teams, or we'll get 4 more teams here in Dayton. We'll get more games played here in Dayton. So what's the big deal? I truly believe it's just the opening round that gets impacted by it. I don't think it does anything else. So I don't know. I just don't see a problem with it. I don't. The regular season kind of doesn't matter to begin with. It really doesn't. Ratings for college basketball aren't great in November, February anyways. A lot of people, college football, the national championship is damn near well past the halfway point in January. It's closer to the end of January than the halfway point in January. So then people tune in for February, and you kind of get that race to the finish line. And if your team's out of it by the time your college football is by the time college football is done, you're checked out anyways. That's a big criticism of Ohio State basketball, is the fact that, hey, college football season ends, then we turn our attention towards Ohio State basketball. Then we realize that this team's not an elite team, that they're not in the top 10. Then we want, to chop people's heads off. We want coaches fired. And it's like, man, you're pretty pissed off for a fan that hasn't tuned in for 3 months. But that's just the nature of college basketball. And I don't think the expansion of the NCAA tournament is going to change how we watch. It just won't. It doesn't make it worse. The expansion of the college football playoff was different. It made it, it impacted the regular season. Last year when Texas lost to Ohio State in week 1, it put Texas in a position where, and I know they, missed the playoff, but it put Texas in a position where they could not lose another game the rest of the season. In the 4-team college football playoff era, Texas losing to Ohio State in week 1, Ohio State, Texas would have been it was the biggest game of week 1, but it just felt like, oh, it's a fun, big game. But we didn't feel nothing was on the line. Had Ohio State lost to Texas at the shoe in week 1, Ohio State wouldn't have been out anything. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't out. Texas was not. Texas didn't miss the playoff because they lost 1 game to Ohio State. They missed the playoff because they lost 3 games. You know what I mean? Like, so the expansion of the playoff truly did impact the regular season. It made that game just kind of not really. It didn't really matter. Well, it did matter. If they would have beat Ohio State, they would have been in the playoff. You're right. But it also gave you a 3-game, couple game wiggle room to work with here. In the 14 playoff era, you lost to Ohio State, you're probably toast for sure because you're not going unscathed the rest of the way. And Ohio State, with the win over Texas, all that did was it allowed them to still be able to. So it gives some teams breathing room. I guess that's a mini pro in the pro cons list. But yeah, to me, the expansion of the playoff watered down the regular season. That's a good, valid reason to be against the tournament expansion in football. In basketball, it doesn't impact anything. It just doesn't. So, nonetheless, I'm Justin Kinner. It's the Justin Kinner Show, 1410 ESPN Radio. We do have game 2 tonight between the Reds and the Rockies. The Reds have won 8 of their last 10. They're 19-10. They have a 1.5 lead on the Cubs in the NL Central. And all of a sudden, this team's starting to roll a little bit. And not roll, and not even all of a sudden, not even roll a little bit. This team has been good from the very start. They won the first series of the season. They did their thing. They've done a great job since. You look at the most recent games, obviously, they swept the Rangers. They split with the Marlins. They did lose that Angels series, but since then, 2 or 3 from the Giants, sweeping the Twins, 2 or 3 from the Rays, 2 or 3 from the Tigers, and they won 7-2 last night against the Rockies. And a win tonight will expand their series win streak. But Elly De La Cruz last night was more than phenomenal. He homered last night, drove in 4 runs. Chase Burns last night, a big night for the Reds, reached 100 strikeouts, which, by the way, the reason that's so key, Chase Burns, he reached 100 strikeouts faster than any other Reds pitcher as the Reds beat the Rockies last night 7-2. All right, it was a big night last night because the Reds, for the longest time, yesterday Shaw and I were arguing about like the Reds have not looked good they've been winning a lot of games, but they haven't looked good while winning, if that makes sense. If you've noticed as of late, the Reds have started to really look good while winning. They're starting to hit a lot more. They're starting to hit better. They're starting to score more runs. The power numbers are there, right? Like the team average collectively has gotten better, and they continue to dominate pitching. And thank goodness Shaw slept well last night. I'm sure Chase Burns, 6 innings last night, gave up 2 earned runs on 7 hits, struck out 9 batters last night. A very efficient night for Chase Burns. And then, of course, big nights at the plate, of course. How about Dane Myers, by the way? Myers has been very good. Myers hitting .293 on the season. He drew a walk last night. He was 2 for 3 at the plate. He scored 3 runs. I mean, he's really kind of providing what you want out of your leadoff hitter. McLean bounced back to earth a little bit last night. Not by a little bit. I mean, he was 0 for 4. But Ellie De La Cruz, that monster game, as we talked about, 3 of 4 at the plate, scored 2 runs, drove in 4 RBIs, had a home run. Ellie De La Cruz, 10 home runs, 10 plus stolen bases already 1 month into the season. He had multiple stolen bases last night, too, on top of that. I mean, he's just been unreal. Sal Stewart, the front runner to be rookie of the year 1 month into the season. I mean, no other rookie has been more dominant than Sal Stewart. Not even close. 1 for 4 last night with the run. 1 strikeout, hitting .290 on the season. Spencer Steer has been very good as of late as well. He was 1 for 4 with the run, 2 RBIs. He hit a home run. So Ellie and Steer with the home run apiece last night. Lowe, designated hitter again. He's going to be getting a lot of those opportunities in the absence of Eugenio Suarez. He's hitting .277 on the season. Tyler Stevenson goes 1 for 4 last night. All right, and Ke'Bryan Hayes, I tell you what, he's gotten that average. He was hitting .067 for the longest time. He's hitting 123. And 123, I'm not saying is a good thing, but I'm just saying he's brought that average up significantly over the last week and some change. Ke'Bryan Hayes has been significantly better at the plate. And I think that he deserves some praise because a couple weeks ago, I went on to say, man, as I defend Nick Craw more than others, but it was hard for me to defend him going after and getting a player like Ke'Bryan Hayes, who has just been horrific. But there was a stretch where, and I'm looking at this like, man, he had a hit on April 5th, okay? He played on the 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 18th, and 19th. Between the days, from April 5th through April 19th, the dude didn't have a hit. Didn't have a hit. Was 0 for 18 in that stretch. And since then, since 420, since 420, 1 for 4 on the 20th, 1 for 3 on the 21st, scoring 2 runs, hit a home run, right? He was 0 for 3 against the Tigers on Friday night in game 1, but he was 2 for 4 against the Tigers on Saturday, 1 for 4 against the Tigers on Sunday, and 1 for 3 last night. Ke'Bryan Hayes heating up. Spencer Steer heating up. Ellie's been LA the whole damn month. Continuing to go down this list here. You continue to go down this list of all the Reds that have been contributing from the very beginning. Obviously, Sal Stewart. This isn't the Dodgers lineup. But it doesn't have to be that with that pitching staff. They don't have to be the Dodgers lineup. That's what's great about this team. But man, like I said, a lot of these guys just were not hitting the ball whatsoever to start the season. But they've been a completely different team over the last couple of weeks. They've been winning consistently all month long. They've just been a different team over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, because now the runs have started coming in. The hits have started coming in. And I think that's taking a lot of pressure off of the rotation and off of that bullpen as far as that's concerned. Reds are 19-10. They're going for their 20th win of the season tonight. They spent a lot of time on this on last week's show, on yesterday's show, sorry. They didn't get their 20th win of the season last year until May 10th. 2 years ago, they didn't get their 20th win of the season until May 20th. 3 years ago, they didn't get their 20th win of the season until June. And here we are on April 29th, and the Reds have a chance to win their 20th game of the season, which is huge. But whatever. But the question I threw out earlier, and I know this sounds silly because it's like, there's so much baseball left to be played. But, the Dodgers lost last night. Okay, the Dodgers lost, last night. And you start looking at the records, the top records in baseball. There's only 3 teams in baseball better than the Reds, and not by much. The Braves, 21-9, best record in baseball. They have a plus 68 run differential, right? The New York Yankees are 20-10. The Dodgers are 20-10. And the Reds are 19-10. It was the Padres. I said the Dodgers lost. Sorry. Well, they did lose technically, but the Padres lost as well. So the Padres are 19-10 along with the Reds. But the Dodgers, Yankees, and Braves all better than the Reds as far as records are concerned, nonetheless. But, when you look at the Braves, they're a World Series contender. We know that. They're for real. You look at the Yankees. Of course, they're a World Series contender. You look at the Dodgers. You look at the Padres. The Reds are right there with all those teams 1 month into the season. And the question I have is all the top World Series contenders are sitting right there at the top of all the best records in baseball. The Braves 21-9, the 20-10 Yankees and 20-10 Dodgers, the 19-10 Padres, and the Reds are tied with the Padres for the fourth best record in all of baseball. All those teams are World Series contenders. Are the Reds. When you watch this team, do you get the same vibes that a Dodgers fan feels about his team, or a Yankees fan, or a Braves fan, or a Padres fan? And it's not a trick question. I'm legitimately curious, because with Sal Stewart and Ellie De La Cruz playing the way that they are, and Ellie De La Cruz, to me, if the Reds win the division, Ellie De La Cruz is your MVP this season. I've said this on many occasions. I don't care how good Shohei Ohtani is. Shohei Ohtani does not mean as much to his team as what Ellie De La Cruz means to his. You take Ellie De La Cruz off the Reds, they are plummeting. You take Shohei Ohtani off the Dodgers, I'm not saying they don't feel it, but I don't think they're losing sleep at night either. Losing Ellie De La Cruz is a nightmare situation for the Reds. Losing Shohei Ohtani is not a nightmare situation for the Dodgers. It's just not. It's not ideal, but it's not nearly the same. And that's why, all things being equal, if Shohei Ohtani has a dominant 2026 season and the Reds continue on this pace and win 95-plus games and win the NL Central, and Ellie is playing the way he is, I'm sorry, but there's not a player that is more valuable in all of baseball right now than Ellie De La Cruz. And a lot of his value is based on the limitations of the organization in which how they put this roster together. And it's limitations that they've kind of put upon themselves, yes, but the Reds are not the Dodgers. The Reds are not the Yankees. The Reds are not the Padres when it comes to spending. And I think when you look at what Ellie De La Cruz, what he's doing and what he's doing defensively, everything I was against him on coming into the season, he has fixed. He has fixed his defense. He's been phenomenal at shortstop this season. Strikeout numbers, still not exactly where I'd like him to be, but he's at a lower strikeout clip at this time of year than where he was last year. Home runs through the roof. Last year, he led the Reds in home runs with 20-plus home runs on the season. He already has 10 in the first month. I thought that the Reds were making an excuse for him when they said, he was battling an oblique injury most of last season. And I was like, okay, that's the organization coming out to protect him, yada, yada. I believe it now. I didn't believe that he truly had an injury last year. I just thought that was their way of kind of protecting him a little bit from the media pouncing on him, which I appreciate. But I believe him now. And I actually think less of the Reds now, because I'm like, you continue to play him 160 games last year of the 162 while playing through an injury. I thought that was kind of something, but that's besides the point. The more I see this team, the more I watch this team, I'm just starting to buy into an extra degree, because it went from feeling good just about them winning to then I'm like, okay, but are they for real? No, they're not for real. But man, we're talking about a month of games. That's a lot of games. There's still a lot more games left to be played, but I think 30-plus games, 29 games, 30 tonight. I think that's a fairly amount of games to get a good feel for who these teams are. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Reds are going to go on a 2-week stretch where they lose a lot of games. And I'm going to tell you right now, so will the Dodgers. It happened last year. The Yankees will lose a handful of games. The Reds swept the Yankees last year, right? Like, it happens. So I don't want to, in a week, if the Reds start to kind of stumble a little bit, I don't want to say, see, this is what. No, I don't care. 162 games, and there's going to be peaks and valleys. But man, I'm just saying, there's a lot of reasons to be skeptical about this team, but I'm paying more attention to the reasons to feel good about it. Ellie's not just having a good year. Ellie last year, for a bad season for him, it was a good year. He had a good season last year. It's just good. This has been an elite month. This has been the best month of Ellie De La Cruz that we've ever seen. And I'm telling you right now, he's only going to continue to get better. And we'll see what ultimately happens nonetheless. But Shaw, he brings up a good point. If Sal and Ellie play the rest of the season the way that they have been, who wins MVP? I thought about that a week ago. I think Ellie's actually taken it up a notch over this last week and a half. But a week and a half ago, I said Sal Stewart. If this is Sal Stewart all year, I don't know how he's not in the MVP conversation. And I think that he could be. I think people have this freaking weird thing about not giving it to a rookie. I hate that. I hate those limitations. Like when people say, "Well, yeah, you can't do that because he's a rookie." I think that's all the more reason to give a rookie an MVP, because a rookie is doing like a rookie against all odds. To go all Josina Anderson on you, against all odds, a rookie to do what he's doing 1 month in. Now, again, there's a lot more months. You still got May, June, July, right? August and September. You got 5 more months. Can he keep it up at that? But yes, to Shaw's point, if Ellie and Sal Stewart continue to play at this pace throughout the season, who wins MVP? Who should get MVP? It's going to be Ellie over Sal. However, it's a coin flip if you ask me, but Sal won't get it because of the rookie thing. I hate when I hear people say, well, no, they're not going to give it to a rookie. I think him being a rookie makes what he's doing even more impressive than what Ellie's doing. And that's not a shot at Ellie. That's not his fault or nothing. You know what I mean? I just think that as a rookie doing what he's doing, it's more impressive than the seasoned veterans who are doing this. Like Ellie needed a few years to get to putting on a month like he's put on right now. Sal's doing it in the first month. Sal Stewart's freaking phenomenal, guys. Like he is. And we thought, the baseball gods, blessed the Reds with Ellie De La Cruz. They did, but they also didn't stop there. There's a lot of talent that the baseball gods have bestowed upon the Cincinnati Reds organization. And I really hope, and Sal, this is a topic for another day, but Sal Stewart might be the most important player in modern history of the Reds. Because I think Sal Stewart, if the Reds could find a way to get an extension done with him, it's going to make losing Ellie less painful. But they have to find a way to get that deal done ASAP. But it sucks that you're not going to be able to keep those two together. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's just enjoy where we're at the moment. But 19-10, the Reds go for win number 20 coming up later on tonight with the Rockies at Great American Ballpark. So there you go. All right, more of the Justin Kinner Show when we come back.
If you need new roofing, siding or gutters, skylights or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. See Lance Roofing and Siding at their new location at 6903 Dayton Springfield Road in Enon. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722. Online at lanceroofing.com.
Trying to keep up with today's fast-changing digital landscape? With more ways to consume content than ever before, it is getting harder to reach your customers. You need more than just a presence. You need the experts at Conrex Digital. We craft websites that convert. We curate engaging content on social and blog channels. We generate quality leads through Google and Meta. We dominate your competition on streaming TV. Bold marketing, real results. Conrex Digital makes it happen. Visit conrexdigital.com. That's conrexdigital.com.
For all of your tree needs, you've got to call Tackett Tree Service. Headquartered in Dayton and family owned since 1949, Tackett Tree Service delivers professional quality tree services to residential and commercial customers, including tree removal, pruning, trimming, stump grinding services. Plus, they have firewood and mulch for sale and even specialize in tree health care too. Call Tackett 7 days a week, 7 to 7, and emergency service 24/7. Call 937-630-2743 or see Tackett'sTreeService.com.
Smalls here. What if you could enjoy the flavor of a cocktail without the alcohol? Meet RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category that delivers bold taste and a warming sensation, but with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and zero calories. So you can celebrate with friends, unwind after a long day, and wake up tomorrow feeling great. It's all the ritual of a drink without the regret. Discover RK at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK, the spirit without the alcohol.
Mom deserves more than flowers and a card. Enter to win the JTV Mother's Day Getaway at jtv.com/sweepstakes. You could win a 6-night cruise to Grand Cayman, Mexico, and the Bahamas, plus $1,000 spending money and a $1,000 gift card to shop JTV. It's a mom's dream come true. Enter the JTV Mother's Day Getaway now at jtv.com/sweepstakes. And new customers receive a one-time $25 off of a purchase of $50 or more.
Spring is sprung, and savings are in full bloom at Menards. Visit Menards Garden Center for everything you need to get your garden growing. Choose from hundreds of beautiful, colorful flowers, lush trees and shrubs, and everything in between. Menards Garden Center is back in bloom. Stop in today to get your garden on. Check out fresh deals happening now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Whoa. Okay. This one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on. Let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh, yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now or?
I'm thinking high five.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+4 lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
And now a list of things from Progressive Insurance. Home, auto, boat, motorcycle, RV, ATV. Progressive protects them all. Learn more about bundling at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Kubota keeps the job site running smoothly with the #1 selling compact excavator lineup in the world. Reliable, capable, and backed by strong dealer support. Stop by today to power up your crew. Right now, bring home select Kubota excavators with 0% financing available or save up to
Hard to describe the delicious flavor of Lee's new famous sauce paired with the 12-piece strip meal. We figured we'd give it a shot.
Imagine crispy, golden, fried to perfection chicken dunked in bold, peppery, beautifully balanced famous sauce. Every bite feels intentional, deeply satisfying, and impossible to forget.
In other words, it's just the best there is. The 12-piece strip meal with new famous sauce. Only at Lee's. Famous for a reason.
Upgrade to a new quality bath remodel in less time with minimal inconvenience and for less money with Bath Creations in as little as 2 days. We do it right. There are a lot of others boasting about bath remodels these days. Well, Bath Creations' expert craftsmanship and customer service speaks for itself. Plus, all first responders, veterans, and active military will save an additional $500 off your purchase. Visit our beautiful showroom at 8741 North Kimmel Road in Clayton or at mybathcreations.com and upgrade your new bath today.
The Reds and Rockies game 2 coming up here later on tonight. Williamson will be on the mound. 6:40 the first pitch with the 6:10 pregame coverage beginning for you right here on 1410 Wing AM, of course. TJ Frito back in the lineup tonight. He'll lead things off and start in center field. Batting second and at second base will be Matt McClain. At shortstop, batting third is Ellie De La Cruz, batting cleanup. And at first base, Sal Stewart. Lowe will be the designated hitter and bat fifth. Spencer Steer will bat sixth in right field. Lede will get the start in left field and bat seventh. Jose Trevino behind the plate tonight. He'll bat eighth. And Key Brian Hayes, who, as I've talked about, is really, started to improve dramatically with that bat in his hand. We know he's one of the best, if not the best, defensive third baseman in baseball, but he has been equally as bad with the bat in his hand. But that has not been the case over the last week and a half. So we'll see if he can continue on that run here tonight. Again, how long will the Reds be without Eugenio Suarez? That's still a big question mark right now. But again, I think if there was ever a time to lose Suarez, now would be the time for a bit, just because so many other guys in the lineup are starting to heat up and kind of replace some of that production. I don't think his production was elite by any means. Too early to count him out by any means, but we'll see what happens. But the Reds need to get him healthy and get him back. And if Suarez starts swinging the bat the way he's capable of, along with the production of Ellie De La Cruz and Sal Stewart, and while the other guys all start to kind of come up around them with that pitching, I think the Reds are close to getting, obviously, Nick Lodolo back here in the near future as well. We got a chance to see him pitch in Dayton. I'm assuming the Reds would like to try to get him, for that Pirates series or that Cubs series coming up next week. So we'll see what ultimately happens when it's all said and done. As far as the Reds are concerned and what they have coming up, again, the Reds, quite a few games here at home to go still. I should say 2 more games at home here before the road trip, of course, but they have Colorado tonight, Colorado tomorrow. No show tomorrow. Reds will preempt the show. Keep that in mind. So no show tomorrow. But Williamson on the mound tonight, Abbott on the mound tomorrow to close out the series, going up against former Red Michael Lorenzen. How about that? So we'll see Andrew Abbott and Michael Lorenzen go at it tomorrow to close out the series. And then the Reds will have no off day. They'll be right back at it, this time hitting the road for 3 straight at Pittsburgh, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And then on Monday, they will have the start a 4-game series with the Cubs in Chicago. It's the first time that the Reds and Cubs have squared off in the 2026 season. And that's going to be a good one. That's a good early May matchup right there. The Reds, as we sit right now, obviously they have 2 more games with the Rockies, a full series with the Pirates before you get to the Cubs. But to give you a little bit of an idea, the Cubs are 18-12. The Reds are 19-10. A game and a half separates the two. And the NL Central's the most competitive division in baseball. Is it the best? I don't know if it's the best division in baseball, but it's the most competitive. But I will say this. The Pirates are in last place. And that's not a shocker, right? Like if I would tell you coming into the season that the Pirates are going to be the worst team in the NL Central, you'd say, yeah, that sounds about right. But the Pirates are 16-14 and 2 games above 500. The Brewers are second to last at 15-13. And there's the Cardinals at 16-13. The Cubs 18-12. Every team in the Central is at least 2 games above 500 or better. So that tells you kind of what we're working with here. But yeah, the Reds have a 3.5 game lead on the Pirates, who are last in that division, but a 1.5 game lead over the Cubs. We'll see what that game, what that 1.5 game lead looks like by the time they actually get to that Cubs series. But we'll see if the Reds can pick up their 20th win of the season coming up here later on tonight. The Dodgers lead the NL West at 20-10. They have a 1/2 game lead over the Padres, who are sitting at 19-10. The Diamondbacks 15-13, 4 games back in that division. The Giants 13-16, 6.5 back, and then 13-17. The team that the Reds are playing now, and the Rockies 13-17, 7 games back in that division. As far as the NL East is concerned, how about the Braves? 21-9, the best record in all of baseball right now. A 7-game lead over the Marlins in the NL East, 14-16. The Reds play in a division where every team in the division is at least 2 games or better above 500. The NL East, outside of the 21-9 Braves, every team is below 500. In fact, the Phillies and the Mets are both 9 games under 500, 4 games under 500 for the Nationals at 13-17. And then there's the Marlins, the second most competitive team in that division at 14-16. But they're second in that division and trail already by 7 games, creating a tough hole already 1 month into the season. The American League, outside of the Yankees, Outside of the AL East, the Reds would lead every division in the American League by 4+ games at this point, over 3.5+ games at this point. But the Yankees, 20-10, sitting atop the American League East. The Tampa Bay Rays, who the Reds took 2 or 3 from recently, sitting at 18-11, a game and a half behind those Yankees. The Orioles, 14-15. The Blue Jays, 13-16, and the Red Sox dead last. How about firing their manager and Cora, moving on from him? 12-18, 8 games back in that division. That's an interesting division right there. The Red Sox, I did not expect to see them in dead last, but it's been a rough go of it for the Red Sox in recent years. We'll see how they bounce back. The AL Central, your Cleveland Guardians, 15-16, under 500. They're a half game back of the Tigers, who the Reds just took 2 or 3 from over the weekend. The Tigers are 15-15, first place in that division. 14-17, a game and a half back of the Tigers is the Chicago White Sox. The Twins are 13-17, and then the Royals down in dead last, 12-17. There you go. And how about the West? All right, the AL West, the Athletics are 15-14. They have a game lead on the Mariners, who are 15-16. The Rangers at 14-16. The Angels, 12-20, fourth place in that division. And then there's the Astros in dead last at 11-19. They trail the division by 4.5 games. So there you go. We're talking so much about, the Reds and, are they legitimate or not? I'm looking at the Dodgers, who are 20-10 and have a +67 run differential. Shaw is a big Braves fan, and, they have the best record in baseball. They very well might be the best team in baseball. I mean, they're right there. Their metrics are right there with the Dodgers. The Braves aren't a perfect team either, but they're 21-9, the best record in baseball. They have a +68 run differential, and they're right there with the Dodgers. And you look at some of the other top teams, the Padres are 19-10, and they have a +9 run differential, right? And you look at the Reds, they have a +6 run differential. Now, they've been better scoring runs as of late, but man, they were really, really bad early on. So they've dug themselves out of that hole, but they do have that +6 run differential. But you could easily see, are the Reds a legitimate World Series contender? I'm not ready to go there yet. I think they are a legitimate Central contender. I think that this team has what it takes, from the manager to an MVP candidate in LA to a Rookie of the Year candidate, or front runner, if you will, and Sal Stewart, to the best pitching staff or a top 3 pitching staff in baseball. I think they are more than capable of winning that Central division. But I think it's very easy to see the Dodgers and the Braves are head and shoulders above everybody else. I think it's safe to say. And I think you could put the Yankees in that category as well. I think it's the Braves, Dodgers, and Yankees. I think those are your top 3 teams at the top. They're in a category all to themselves. And then you have that second tier of teams that I think features the likes of, I'll put the Reds in that category. I'll put the Reds in that category of putting them, as far as having an opportunity. I think they're legitimate division contenders. All right, they're legitimate division contenders. I'll put the Padres in that category as well. And I think I'd put the Cubs there. I'm interested to see what the Cubs look like over the next couple of weeks, but I'll put the Cubs in that category as well. I think it's the Dodgers. I think it's the Braves. I think it's the Yankees. Those are your World Series contenders. And then I'm not giving them a 0% chance of winning the World Series, but I'm putting them just on the outside of that World Series bubble 1 month into the season now, in the Reds and the Padres and teams like that. I'm not going to lie to you. Baseball is not very good this year. I mean, the Rays are 18-11. They're not bad either. I could put them up at the top there, them with the Cubs and the Reds. But baseball is, I can't tell if it's not very good this season or if it's just all very, if there's just a lot of parity around baseball. How would you guys gauge it? I know baseball is kind of regional. We follow a lot of what the Reds do. But you look around baseball right now, you have your legit contenders in the Dodgers and the Braves and the Yankees. I think that the Reds are right there along with the Rays, along with the Padres and teams like that. But outside of those teams, I think everyone else, they're not horrible, but they're not great. I think baseball collectively is very competitive this year. I think there are actually I think baseball across the board is a lot better than it's been in recent seasons, but there's just not a lot of great teams. And I don't know if the Reds are great. I don't know if the Padres are great. I don't know if the Rays are great. But I know that the Braves, I know that the Dodgers, and I know that the Yankees, they have star power, they have depth, they have the pitching, they have the hitting, and they have the manager, they have everything. We'll see what happens nonetheless. So let's go through this. I'm behind on the comments in the chat, so my apologies. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to read all through those at this point. I tell you what, I'm gonna organize those comments and I'll respond to those when we come back. But where would you? And I see William Yelly in the chat. He's upset that his Pirates are not getting a lot of love at this point. I'm assuming you're being facetious, right? I'm assuming that you're being a little facetious when it comes to your Pirates. Yeah, I think the Pirates are much improved. I do not think the Pirates are as good as what you think that they are. But I can't tell your tone. So we'll discuss more when we come back. It's a Justin Kinner show. It's 37 here in the Miami Valley. Game 2 between the Reds and the Rockies coming up later on tonight. Can the Reds win their 20th game? Not of the season, but of the month. Pretty damn impressive. The Reds haven't won 20 games. They haven't taken 20 wins into May since 2012. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. More of the Justin Kinner show when we come back.
Polking Bowling Centers are your connection for family fun or a great night out with friends. Looking for a clean and safe venue for your new grad celebration? Check out our VIP suite at Polking Lane South. Set the mood for your event with a state-of-the-art VIP experience in our private 8 lanes VIP suite. Booking now for spring and summer events. Let the good times roll at Polking Lane South in Centerville on Kings Ridge Drive, Woodman Lanes in Kettering on Woodman Drive, and Polking Lanes in Dayton on Wilmington Avenue.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Some people reach a line and stop. Some hit a wall and turn around. Then there are the ones who cross the line, climb the wall, face obstacles, and turn them to their advantage. That's where we come in. We're the next rodeo. We design bold marketing that drives real growth. A creative partner for businesses ready to push forward beyond what's expected. The Next Rodeo. Learn more at thenextrodeo.com.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
At the Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission, we help veterans and their dependents navigate the process of applying for benefits administered by the VA. We can assist with VA claims, pensions, and a variety of benefits, including emergency financial assistance, transportation, and legal services. If you are a veteran or a spouse of a veteran, a wide range of services may be available to you, always at no cost to the veteran. We are honored and proud to serve all Miami Valley veterans. Contact us today at 937-225-4801.
And now a list of things from Progressive Insurance. Home, auto, boat, motorcycle, RV, ATV. Progressive protects them all. Learn more about bundling at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Planning to buy a home in 2026? Not sure where to start? The Ohio Housing Finance Agency can help. With a step-by-step homebuyer's guide and financial tools, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency can make homeownership part of your future. Eligible homebuyers may qualify for down payment assistance and reduced mortgage interest rates. To see if you qualify and to find a mortgage lender, visit myohiohome.org.
Raise your hand if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. No takers? Yeah, didn't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetic patients here in Dayton are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. The QC Kinetic medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body, concentrate them right where you need relief. That's how Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Patrick's golf game is on fire again. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. No pain. All real QC Kinetic patients. The sooner you start treatment, the sooner inflammation eases and the sooner joint damage slows down. Because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetic regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325.
All right, 442 here in the Miami Valley. We welcome you back. It's the Justin Kinner Show. Reds are legit, 19 wins, going for their 20th win of the season tonight. And I tell you what, they have a chance to go for 21 wins tomorrow. But I just care about winning the series. It's never realistic to expect any team to sweep any team. Even the best team in baseball going up against the worst team in baseball, I still wouldn't predict a sweep. It's tough to do. So I'm not predicting that the Reds sweep the Rockies. But I just need them to win the series, take some momentum into the month of May. And I do think this, as high as I am on the Reds, I think there is something to be said about someone texted into the show saying, hey, they basically called me out saying, I know you don't like when we're negative, but if you look at their schedule, I would hope that they can be as good as they've been. I get it. Baseball is one that you can have an easy schedule and still be exposed even during an easy schedule. But I mean, so the Reds took 2 or 3 from the Rays. I think that's not an easy schedule, right? The Reds took 2 or 3 from the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 18-11 and a game and a half back of their division. The Reds took 2 of 3 from the Tigers, who are sitting atop their division. Okay. The Reds took 2 or 3 from the Rangers, who are right there in the middle of their division. When you're just looking, they swept the Minnesota Twins at 13-17. I know some of these teams aren't great, but they beat them. They beat them. I mean, the Reds dropped 2 or 3 against the Angels. That was a bad series loss. They should not have lost to the Angels. They have a series loss against the Pirates. Now, our guy William Yelly is in the chat right here, and I'm here to tell you, losing to the Pirates, that's not a bad thing. I mean, you don't want to lose to the Pirates, but the Pirates aren't going to get the love that they deserve because they're sitting in last place. But they deserve a lot of love because this team is way better than the Pirates that we've seen in recent years. They have good pitching, an elite pitcher. They went out and got veteran bats in the lineup. What the Pirates did with their lineup, the Reds could have done that as well if they wanted to. They just put all their money into the bullpen, and I think that was the right move. But the Pirates made sexier moves in the offseason, and it's paid off. I mean, the Pirates are very solid. The Pirates at 16-14. The Pirates would be in first place in the American League West. The Pirates would be in first place in the American League Central. Okay? The Pirates at 16-14, they would be in third place in the NL West, which is, I think, probably it's tough to say it's the toughest division in baseball, but they have 2 legitimate World Series contenders there. It's right up there with the American League East as well. They'd be third place in the East. They'd be ahead in the Central. They'd be ahead in the West over in the American League. They'd be in second place in the NL East. That's pretty damn crazy that the last place Pirates would be a second or division leading team in most divisions, and they'd be second in most divisions, and they're dead last in the Central. So I'm not going to poo-poo on the Pirates. I actually think the Pirates are pretty good. To my guy William in the chat, I know you're a Pirates fan. I like your team. When the Pirates and Reds are both good, it makes that. I'm looking forward to that series coming up this weekend, and I just hope that the series has the Reds take some momentum into it with the win against the Rockies, as far as the series is concerned. But yeah. So one more time, as I'm going through this, the Reds with the Marlins, let me take a look at their full schedule. When you start to take a look at it, they've played Boston, a last place team. The Pirates are a last place team, but the Pirates, as I mentioned, they're not your typical last place team. The Pirates, that's a good baseball team. That's a very good baseball team. But the Reds have played, the Rangers, right? They've played the Angels, who they lost that series against the Angels, and that was the one that I was really disappointed in the Reds for that. That's a bad series loss. You should not lose as far as that's concerned when it's all said and done. But you lose to the Marlins. The Marlins are second in the NL East. Not a great team, not a bad team. The Angels, that's a bad loss. The Giants, we've talked about them. They took 2 or 3 from the Giants, though. That's fine. They beat a bad Giants team, but they beat them. They swept the Twins. All right. The Tampa Bay Rays, that's one of the top teams in baseball. They took 2 or 3. All right. The Tigers, first place team, they took 2 or 3. And now they're playing the Rockies. Rockies aren't great. They're a last place team, but they won last night, and they won convincingly 7-2. And we'll see what they do in this series. But here's where I'll give it to. So some people are saying, okay, they're a result of not playing a lot of tough games. I don't think they've played a lot of tough games. I agree with you. But I think May is going to be an interesting month because they are going to play some good teams. You're going to kick off May against Pittsburgh. You are going to play the Cubs for the first time on the road. Okay? You're going to have Houston, Washington, and Cleveland. Houston is in last place at 11-19. Washington, they're 13-17. They're similar to the Marlins. They're similar to the Rangers. They're similar to the Twins. They're just a not horrible, not great, below average. They're just there. Like, if you don't come ready to play, it wouldn't surprise me if you to lose to teams like that, right? Cleveland, they're second in their division. But, then you got the Cardinals. And you got the Mets, and the Mets have, I thought that they were going to be better, but that Braves series to close out May, that Braves series I'm circling right there because that could be an NL Championship Series preview based on the information we have. Shaw, relax. Based on the information that we have up to this point with the best teams in baseball, with the information we have up to this point, I love that Reds-Braves matchup. In fact, we have tickets that we're going to be, as we get closer to that Reds-Braves matchup that's in Cincinnati, we will have tickets that will be given away as we get closer to that. That series is going to be massive. Coming back from New York against the Mets, Atlanta waiting. I think that's going to be big time. But yeah, the month of May has a lot of interesting lineups, I think, matchups, and we're going to learn a ton about this Reds team, no doubt. Let's go to the trader AJ. AJ, how are you, sir? What up, trader?
Hey, Justin. Hey, so I know I gave you a hard time yesterday with Shaw's comment. Although today so I drive around a lot, so I listen to a lot of the shows throughout the day, and that show that's from 10 to 12, they had Buster Olney on as a guest today.
Yep.
And most of the talk were the Phillies, the Red Sox, firing managers, just teams that are kind of crap shows right now.
Yep.
And then right before Buster got off, one of the hosts, I think he's from the Southwest Ohio area, he said, "Buster, tell me something good about my Reds." And it was a glowing review from Buster Olney. So I'm a little bit more on board with being more positive to what we're seeing right now, because he had nothing but good things to say about Ellie and Sal and the rotation, and it made me a little bit more positive.
Yeah, and like I said, there's like so many I find, and that's the beauty of baseball. Baseball is the ultimate sport of you could find any numbers you want to make them sing and dance. I could find 5 bullet points to tell you why the Reds are the worst team in baseball. I could also find 5 bullet points to tell you why they're winning the World Series. It's crazy. That's how just baseball is. But I think that, we've seen enough games to know that, yes, the Reds have flaws, but damn, this team, and they're starting to get better. That's the crazy thing. This team's starting to hit better. And if you can get a above average hitting team and lineup with this pitching staff, now I think you move the Reds into a whole other echelon of competitiveness that I don't think I was even expecting coming into this season. So we'll see how it continues to play out. But they've beat good teams in the month of I get why people wanted to say that. I believed it at first, but I started combing through it. They beat a lot of first and second place teams throughout the season, or throughout the month. So we'll see what happens in May.
Yeah, it was good to hear the Reds get a little bit of national love because we're so regional, and for Buster Olney to be that positive about him made me feel kind of proud to be a Reds fan.
Isn't it kind of crazy that we talk about the Reds like they're a mid-major program? Like that's not like we're used to the Kentuckys and the Dukes. And, Kansas is at the world getting a lot of coverage. But when we hear our mid-major schools get the national guys talking about us, we feel great. I think it's sad that we feel that way as Reds fans. I'm not mocking you. I agree with you. When I turn on a national show and they're talking Reds, I'm like, oh, damn, the Reds have made it. And I'm like, well, they should. They're a Major League Baseball team. But we have a mid-major mindset with our Reds at times where you just said it. Like, it was kind of cool to hear Buster Olney talk about the Reds. I'm like, that's sad that we feel that way because they're a Major League Baseball team, but we feel we're fans of a mid-major ball club at times, and that's kind of wild.
Yeah, I think most fans are. That's a talk for another day. That's an MLB problem, and the way that they do their media and then how they promote their stars. So, I mean, we can get into that another day. But yeah, it is. It's
not. No, you bring up a good point though.
It's major. You're right.
It's not weird. Like when I'll watch First Take and they talk Cavaliers basketball, and that's normal. Like it's not. They don't talk Cavs a lot, but like I'm not stunned when they talk Cavs, right? But you're right. When I'm watching the national show and the Reds get mentioned, I'm like, oh, cool. They're talking Reds. Like I get surprised. It's like as if I hear Wright State get mentioned, and I'm like, oh, cool, a national show bringing up right. And that's not a slight, by the way, at Wright State for anyone that thinks I just did. It's just the reality of it. Like no one talks Reds ever outside of our little region here. So no, that's a good point. That's a good point.
All right. Hey, have a good one, man. Thanks.
Appreciate the call. Appreciate you listening. Thank you. 937-518-1410. William Yelly says Reds are a small market. That's the problem with MLB. You just buy winners. I'm sensing that you are against the Dodgers. Look, we're all against the Dodgers. The Dodgers might be the best thing that ever happened to baseball, though, because the Dodgers might be exactly what baseball finally needed, the tipping point. William, if the Dodgers win the World Series this year, I know this sounds silly. I kind of want the Dodgers to win the World Series this year. For one, a dynasty, it's good for sports, but two, I think it'll finally get baseball attention because baseball's been ignoring the salary cap issue for so long because there's been parity in baseball. The Yankees, and the Astros, I guess, would you guys consider the Astros the most recent dynasty in baseball? And I don't even think they were a dynasty. They were just, they went on a hell of a run, but they went to multiple World Series. They won a World Series, but before the Dodgers, that was like as close to a dynasty as we kind of got in baseball. Am I wrong? Like, I'm kind of curious your guys' thoughts on that. I bring that up because I think the longest time baseball kept, there's always been teams that have outspent everybody else. But the Dodgers doing what they're doing, flaunting it to the rest of the league, has finally got Rob Manfred and others to the point to where they're willing to take a stand on this issue. And unfortunately, we might have to lose an entire season of baseball next year to get what we ultimately want. But I do think that the Dodgers are the key to our happiness. The Dodgers are the key to our unhappiness right now, but they're the key to our happiness in the future. I think what we've needed is this Dodgers type run to get the front office or to get the higher ups of Major League Baseball's attention, because they've just sat back and said, well, we know the Dodgers spend more than everyone else. We know the Yankees and the Padres and others. We know these franchises spend more than everybody else, but there's parity. Look at all the teams, the different teams in the playoffs every year. Look at all the World Series champions. Well, now we're slowly starting to get away from that, and it's just the Dodgers just running away with it. I said it earlier, Elly De La Cruz, it kind of fits in with this point. The fact that Shohei Ohtani, to me, is not a valuable player to the Dodgers, and it sounds silly to say it, but I mean it. Elly De La Cruz is a million times more valuable to the Reds than Shohei is to the Dodgers. The Dodgers can lose Shohei Ohtani, and they're still World Series contenders. The Reds lose Elly De La Cruz, they're as relevant as the Louisville Bats when it comes to Major League Baseball talking heads. So I'm just saying, like, I can't stand the Dodgers, but we should all be Dodgers fans come October. If our team doesn't have a shot, we need to be Dodgers fans. I think that the best chance of us getting what we want, which is that salary cap, salary floor, I think that the Dodgers are the key to it. So I'm going to go for the Reds. And if there's a chance that they can compete for a World Series, I'm all in on the Reds. No questions asked. I'll cry like a baby if they can pull it off. But once I know that the Reds are out of it, I'm all about the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers need to win a third straight. I think they need to continue spending the way they do and winning the way they do, because I think that's going to be the key to ultimate change in baseball. Because before it was, well, yeah, there's always teams that spend more than others, but look at the parity. And they weren't wrong. There was always teams that always spent more than others, but that never equated to guaranteed championships. Now it's starting to equate to that. As far as that goes. So, we'll see. All right, good stuff, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me for the afternoon or for the evening, if you will. We'll do this again on Friday. Off tomorrow. Reds and Rockies to close out the series tomorrow. But we do got game coming up later on tonight. Can the Reds pick up their 20th win of the season? Haven't won 20 before May since 2012. And the Reds have a chance to do that coming up later on tonight. Until Friday, this has been the Justin Kinner Show. Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.